Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Pop'n TwinBee on the Nintendo Switch Online service. So this is the Super Famicom / Super Nintendo version of Pop'n TwinBee. I realize I haven't covered a lot of Nintendo Switch Online games. I start to feel that all of us have this service. And probably all of us are going through and sampling all these games. I'm not sure how much value I add by covering this, but I mean, if you want me to cover more of these games, then I certainly will. But let's check this one out because I'm a pretty big fan of the TwinBee series. Normal, surround, and golf. Let's do normal. Ooh, it's weird playing it with this aspect ratio, you know? Usually I expect the game to, play this with a much tighter screen, so you can get more vertical. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's interesting they didn't even add the any letterboxing or pillar boxing, as some call it. Ooh, so many bells! Oh, and I missed all of them. Yeah, that's awesome. How very awesome of me. Ah. Oh god, I'm moving so fast. I don't know what power-up does what either. Oh, all it takes is a kiss. That's right, sucker. Oh, cool. Nice little effect. It's so weird we didn't get this over in North America. I mean, they clearly put a lot of effort into it, and I would have thought that a shoot 'em up would still sell pretty well in this era, but I guess they never felt it was worth it. Oh, I gotta quit grabbing those blue ones. I'm moving way too fast. No more speed ups. God, is there a speed down? Good, speed down. My goodness. Oh, this is a pretty frantic shooter for the Super Nintendo. The Zelda came later on in its life. Man, games in the early life of the system would have had a lot of problems with slowdown. This one runs nice and consistent. At least so far. Gee, I would have killed to play this game back in the day. Well, I mean, I would have only killed people that, you know, didn't deserve to live. You know, not just anyone. I mean, that'd be silly. Home's dead. I love that color and transparencies. That's what I really loved about the Super Nintendo. Having all those extra colors on screen, you know, really the only thing that could compete with the Super Nintendo as far as colors on screen at the time was the PC Engine. You know, unfortunately, for the Mega Drive or the Genesis at the time, you know, they sort of sacrificed the on-screen colors for the speed of the processor. I think that overall that was a good decision for them, and at the time, you know, the technology available, it certainly made sense. You know, they had, you know, way more colors than the original, Nintendo Entertainment System. So if you came at it from that perspective, if you were coming off of the regular Nintendo and going onto the Mega Drive, it was real impressive. But if you came off of the regular Nintendo and then came onto the Super Nintendo, then it was sort of hard to go back and play the Mega Drive. Just because things, they just didn't quite look right, because there weren't as many colors on the screen. Not to say that there weren't, a lot of games on the Genesis that were worth playing, and sometimes the versions of the Genesis games were better, but in general, it wasn't true. Thankfully, that era also had like a ton of different games. This era, there's a lot of the same games on the system. So there's the technology between systems is pretty similar. So it's hard to differentiate yourself from version to version. It's kind of good and bad about this generation of games. But the systems, while there's many of them, there's really not much difference between them. Whereas the Super Nintendo and Genesis, man, there was a ton of difference. Or even the PlayStation and the Saturn. They all had the very distinctive styles, and you could always tell just by looking at it which system it was on. I'm really amazed at this game. I mean, this game is like an arcade quality game. It just runs so well, so it's so very rare to get a Super Nintendo game to run this well with so much going on the screen. And especially in the shoot 'em up genre. That is where the Genesis or Mega Drive really excelled. Is that shoot 'em up genre was a much more pleasant experience over there. Even though the Super Nintendo had plenty of good ones, they just ran much better on the Mega Drive. But they were the very best on the PC Engine. So, unfortunately, both those systems lost out to the PC Engine as far as shoot 'em ups were concerned. But it took way too long for the PC Engine to come out in the States, and all the licensing deals made it very difficult for them to break into the market, coming in so late. I think if they would have released sooner, closer to when the Japanese released the PC Engine, and worked out a few more deals with the games, I think they would have made it, honestly. In fact, that's really the system that I'd like to see the most on the Nintendo Switch service. I'd certainly like to see Mega Drive games, and I definitely would want to see PC Engine games. I mean, they did a lot of that with the original Wii, but they just couldn't get the games out fast enough. It's just like the same complaints that we have here with Nintendo Switch Online. The idea is great, but you know, with so few games that come out, you know, you definitely don't purchase this this Switch Online to play classic games. I mean, there's hardly anything to play, and the releases are so sporadic. It's, you know, I don't know. It's like a worthless bonus, you know. I was like, I only get this to play online, and they give you a little bit of a bonus to play some classic games, but not really much motivation to do so. I mean, I do appreciate being able to play Super Metroid and Link to the Past and, you know, stuff like that on a modern system, you know, so I don't have to break out the old controllers and break out the old system. And, you know, there's definitely some minuses to playing, you know, classic games on classic systems on the original hardware. I mean, I don't want to play on my crappy-ass CRT. I never did like that technology. You know, I don't want to play with a corded controller. That's not my thing. You know, with an RF signal with all the snow and the noise that came along with it. Or to model your systems to use, you know, RGB or S-Video. I mean, it's such a barrier on a modern system to try to play it. I think a lot of nostalgic gamers, you know, they don't mind all of that in order to be able to play with the original hardware. As I said, I never found those to be positive about the original hardware. I never liked that. That's why I tended to play more arcade games. I tended to go to the arcade more than play home systems. That's why I'm very happy with the focus on the arcade archives. You know, Nintendo's hardly even stepped into the emulation market, except with physical hardware. You know, with those mini systems. You know, they really just have not invested that much time into this. Oh god, I suck. Well, you get the idea. Anyway, this is audap Stream watching Pop'n TwinBee on the Nintendo Switch Online service. This game was originally released on Super Famicom, or the Super Nintendo as some people knew it. Although I don't think it came to North America, I believe. It doesn't seem familiar. I don't know if I ever owned this one. It would have been very, very expensive if, if I did own it. But it's a great little shoot-'em up. Vertical shoot-'em up on the Super Nintendo. I highly suggest that you play it. It's 2-player as well. So yeah, check it out if you have the Nintendo Switch Online service. It's definitely worth playing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.